Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to My Deep Guide, and in today's video I have a splitting headache. Therefore my energy level is of course lower and I'm trying to get through all of this to kind of get this video. In today's video we are checking out the update for the Supernote ecosystem all the way. So I think that it's out on both the Manta Nomad, so A5X2, A6X2, but also on the older models as well. And it brings some quite interesting and welcome features and fixes to the Supernote platform. So let's check it out. And here are the release notes for the update 3.22. I am checking it out on the Supernote Manta. There's a few things that are added, adjusted, optimized, and a huge amount of fixes. So basically I won't be going through all of the fixes that are here because there's a lot of them. But I'm just gonna leave it here, and then you can either read it from here or you can just go and read the release notes of this version to see what has been fixed. But there's been a lot of stuff that's been fixed, and unfortunately I have the headache that's extremely bad today. So I can't really do all of the checks. So I'm just going to focus on the most important stuff that the update 3.22 is bringing to the table. And it begins with the smart straight line feature. And that is a straight line that supports adjusting first of all, supports drawing a straight line like we now have on Remarkable and on the Boox platform. And it supports adjusting the line length and angle, horizontal and vertical snapping, line-to-line snapping, which is pretty much exclusive to Supernote platform, and template snapping, only available in Note, which is also something that I've seen only Supernote support. And then we also have the second thing that's a bigger kind of addition, is that they have optimized the stroke effect by processing each stroke individually to enhance the smoothness of new handwritten strokes. Basically, the rendering of strokes has been improved so that they appear smoother. And this is something that we had a form of like anti-aliasing before, but that's now gone. It doesn't really exist as a thing. And then I guess we just have this new type of rendering which is supposed to be smoother. So let's go and check the lines out. It says 321, but it's instead 322. But I use this to actually test out the line smoothing. And the way this works is that you can't really enable it or disable it. It's just the way it works. And after an update, the system will automatically update all of the existing notebooks to the new rendering style. So that is a process that, depending on the amount and complexity of the notebooks you have, it can actually take quite a bit of time. So you need to kind of, a schedule for that. You can cancel it, and then you can manually update the notebooks that you want. This is already updated, but because I anticipated that this is how it's going to be working, I took the photos of the same thing, the close-up photos of the same writing before the update and after the update. And definitely, we do have improvements. It's not really there at the level of Boox yet, definitely not at that level, but there's definitely an improvement as well. So if you're just doing regular writing with, let's say, 0.3 pen being your thinnest pen that you're going to use, I think that you will notice a difference and that you will have nice writing strokes. If you are doing like a lot of complex lines, especially curves, it's in the curves that this is going to be noticeable, in larger curves that are very, very thin. So for example, this section here, that is definitely improved how it was before. It's not on the level of smoothness that the Boox rendering of strokes does. However, the overall strokes improvement is absolutely an improvement. So that's a nice thing to see. I just wish that it was matching the Boox level of smoothness and precision, but it's not. So it's better, but it's not really, grade A yet. Now on to the straight lines, and I guess I can just start with drawing a straight line, waiting for it, and then it turns into a line, right? And then you can adjust the angle and it will snap at 45 degrees, or no, at 90 degrees, and at 0 degrees. I have to say that the line itself is like really kind of hard to see, the dotted line currently, but as soon as I release, it should be there. Oh, there we go. Stroke to straight line conversion. Draw a relatively straight stroke and hold pencil for 1 second, automatically convert it to a standard straight line. Cool. Then we have drag the end point of the straight line to any position on the current page to adjust its length and angle. Okay, that's also what we've been doing. When dragging the endpoint straight line close to horizontal or vertical, it will snap. Yep, the same thing. And then we have line-to-line snapping, which is very interesting. When dragging the endpoint to newly drawn straight line close to any point on an existing straight line, the new line will automatically snap to that line. That, I think, is a really interesting thing to see. And then we also have template snapping. When dragging endpoint to straight line close to a point or line on the template, it will automatically snap to that point on the line. That's also really interesting and could be used in a creative way. So let's see, first things first, let's draw a line, 1 second. Yep. Now the question I have is, if I select something that's been a straight line, yeah, there you go. That's the thing. How can I modify it, right? So no, I don't get it why that's not an implementation on any of the systems, right? So this snapping is really cool. Yep, it snaps definitely there. But now I'm thinking like, okay, how would I draw a line that's snapping? Maybe if it just goes from here to, no, he got really confused. So let's try drawing a straight line, convert, snap here. I guess it automatically snapped there. I'm not really sure. But yeah, my problem is that, first of all, it didn't really detect it. Let's try again. There we go, detected it. So now it snaps, right? And that's fine. So I can definitely, and what I like is that it's snapping to a line and it's snapping to the lines on the template. That's like super useful. Like I really like that. It's detecting the black pixels or the darker pixels on the, yeah, it's very cool that it snaps to templates. It snaps also to shapes and lines, not just to ends, which is very interesting as well. So for example, if I wanted to draw like from here, okay, but now I wanted to adjust this end. I'm not really sure what should I do, or is that even possible? Because right now it doesn't seem like it's possible. So yeah, that part definitely is kind of missing. But if you wanted to, you could, I guess, draw a straight line like this. Or that's not straight enough. Let's try again. Okay, that was. So let's get rid of this and try and draw a straight line like this. Yep, and it snaps to here. But you see, I would like to be able to snap this end to the, yeah, to the top here. And that's simply not possible with this functionality. And I'm not really sure why that's the case. It doesn't make that much sense to me, but all right. That's unfortunately that's not just the case with the Supernote. That's the case pretty much with every other platform so far when they are implementing this. You have that main missing feature, which is like, sure, that becomes a line object, but in reality, I don't think that they're converting it to a separate class, which would be a line object type of a stroke, not a regular handwriting stroke, but a line object stroke, because then the way you would implement this is that you use a selection tool, you select it, and the selection tool recognizes, hey, this is not just a stroke, this is a line object, and therefore I'm going to give you the handles so that you can just adjust it. I mean, that's like very basic type of functionality, how this could work in a much better way. Either I'm missing something obvious, but I don't think that I am, because the instructions didn't really either say it. So yeah, but in reality, there's a yeah, 50% of it that really works well. So for example, if I wanted to draw a square, I could, like, there we go, snap to vertical and snap to the line. So that's kind of cool. And then I could just be very precise with that one end. And yeah, I don't know, how did they imagine that this was supposed to, it seems a little incomplete, because there's this initial functionality that's really good, but there's the other handle that's missing. Another way that they could also more easily do it without another class being implemented is that when it converts to a line like this and you let go, that it leaves both handles here so that you can adjust them. And then when you're done, then you tap and then it's set and rendered as a stroke. That would be an even simpler type of a solution where, yeah, you would overcome this issue, because then you have both lines, both ends of the line adjustable and able to snap to existing lines and templates, which is currently not possible. So I think that the line functionality is nice, definitely nice for writing. So for example, you can just underline here, it converts to a line, and then you do another one, and then like that. Or for example, you could draw an arrow really easily. Well, maybe easily. So let's try again. Nope, let's try again. All right. I sneezed in the meantime, so that's why there's a cut. Well, that didn't work. Let's try again. That didn't work. Let's try again. There we go. That worked. All right, cool. So then you can have an arrow shape, and then you can select that and, you know, kind of scale it, rotate it, and do what you want with it, and then use it as a different object, which is kind of cool. So I can see that you could potentially create like a page with shapes that you may want to use throughout different documents using this tool, and definitely it's a useful kind of thing, but I maintain that it's an incomplete type of implementation, mainly because it doesn't allow for adjustment of both ends of the line. Granted, that's the same limitation that you have on the Remarkable as well. So the line basically works the same way as in Remarkable, with the addition that it can snap to existing lines in the template, which is great. But on the Boox, it works the other way around, where you actually have both handles, and then you can adjust the line after it's been converted and before it's being set to a stroke. So yeah, it's an okay implementation, and I think it's a really valuable type of an addition. However, shapes would be a nice logical progression to go in and do these things, and maybe in the long run, I think that, now I'm just talking to like Rata development team, that maybe they could consider creating a separate class which would be considered a object or a line or yeah, something else that is then treated differently with the selection tool, so that when it's selected, that you get the handles, that you get different types of transforms and all that kind of stuff. Then we have a list of adjustments where in the documents we have a support expanding and collapsing multi-level table of contents. Long overdue. Finally it's there. So I think this was like one of the last of the big three platforms that didn't have that, and it's like finally it's there. Then we have in Notes and Documents, star mark recognition, moved from pen preferences, or moved to the pen preferences menu. Okay. Then we have support opening of viewing of BMP files. Blast from the past. That's kind of nice to see, because there are areas where, especially in scientific fields, where certain devices will spit out only BMP images. So that kind of makes sense. Then we have restored the ability to calibrate stylus accuracy on Manta. Good. And we have optimizations, enhanced security for system upgrade verification, added support for the system file picker. That's kind of cool. Allowing access to files to third-party apps. Improved handwriting experience in Word documents to minimize the probability of first stroke disappearing in handwriting mode. Optimized handwriting experience to reduce accidental page turning in documents. Calendar has added ability to allow the automatic adjustment of start and end time when creating and editing events. Finally, that was also a long overdue thing. Then we have search function. When returning to search result screen, the last search result will now be displayed instead of rerunning the search. Yes, finally, like again, long overdue. So it's kind of good to see that, but it would have been better if it was there earlier. And then we have settings, added auto refresh feature. Ooh, I'm actually really tickled about this. So that's really cool. We have auto refresh and added weak password checks for lock screen. Okay, so let's see the auto refresh thing. Let's go to settings, display input. All right, and then we have auto refresh. We can turn it on now. And if we close the settings, he refreshed after the menu. Cool. Let's see how that works. Let's see if it interferes or it's smart. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. And then I just go to the next page. It didn't really refresh there, but let's see if we go here to files. It refreshed before going to files. That's kind of weird. Should have done the other way around, all right? So let's go last opened note. There we go. And it does the refresh thing. What does it do in the documents? That's definitely a bug when it's leaving the note to kind of do that. And let's see, what does it do with the pages? Yes, we're going up here. Going down there, no refreshing here, and there is some ghosting happening. So definitely there's cumulative ghosting normally going on. So it's not really doing it within a document, the auto refresh thing. It seems to be simply when you're switching between different apps. Yeah, because this was refresh and then it works. So if we go to last open note, then it's going to refresh. Okay. And if we go to last open document, that's kind of weird. What I would expect it to do is that we get the blink of refresh when it actually opens the document and then it refreshes. So that it makes sure that what you're seeing in the new display is actually correct. But right now, what we're seeing is that correctly behaves with the note, right? See that blank, that's the auto refresh. But now when I'm going to change to MDO, it's going to first blank in the note, but it's not going to do that in the MDO. And that effectively, will not really get rid of the ghosting from the previous content. Yeah, if I go to settings, there we go. In settings, it worked correctly. If we go to mail, which I don't know, nope, doesn't really work there. In to do, there we go. In to do, it works well. Calendar, nope. In the calendar, it didn't. It refreshed before. The digest, correct. And the files, correct. Okay, so that's kind of weird. That is the way that it should behave. So if I go now to the document, maybe it has to do something with the quick access, right? So let's see, because it's doing that when I'm doing to the quick access. So let's try and open it manually from the files. If I open here, there we go, it refreshed. I think that there's a bug that when you're opening from the quick launch, that this sort of kind of weird thing happens, because right now this is what I would expect it to do, but we get to see when we're going from, so in the note, this is correct, but when going from note to the last open document, that's not correct. So yeah, it's a welcome feature, but it does have an issue as far as the implementation goes if you're using the quick launch, and let's be honest, on the Supernote, you are going to be using that quite a lot. All right, so that's the update for 322 for the Supernote Manta and Nomad system, and it has a different number. I'm sorry, I don't really remember right now because of the headache which number it is there, but I think it's available there as well. Either way, I think that it's a welcome update. I just wished that the implementation of the two main new features was a bit better. Mainly that the rendering of the strokes, while it definitely has been improved, is not really on the level of smoothness and crispness that we have on the Boox platform. And also that the lines, while again really welcome features and really welcome functions, especially that they can snap to other lines and template lines, yeah, we're missing that functionality of adjusting the lines after it has been set, or even while you're setting it, you can only adjust one end. You can never adjust both ends, and that kind of limits the functionality of this tool, which is kind of unfortunate, because with that it would have been even far more functioning. So yeah, that's what we have. And we also have that auto refresh, which for the most part works well, but as you've seen, when you're going from the notebook to a document and document to a notebook, or no, specifically from notebook to a document using the quick launch, then it doesn't really work correctly. But in all other situations, it works really well, and that's definitely a welcome thing to see on the platform as well. Do let me know what you think of this update and functionalities that have been added to the Supernote platform. Is this something that you were looking forward to? Is this something that you're going to be using extensively or not? My thoughts I've shared, and my other thoughts are like, okay, what else? Well, I think shapes would be a logical progression from here, as well as improvement with the handling of lines, and also a fill tool would start to make perfect sense in this type of a setting. I hope that you found the video informative and or useful. If you did, please like and subscribe and ding the notification bell in the description below. And also visit mydeepguide.com/shop, where you can find my daily organizer and MMP, both of which are hyperlinked PDF workbook documents that help you organize all of your professional or personal life or business needs. And more information about either of these you can find in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!